This is ANN News Brief.
African leaders have launched the African Continental Free Trade Area on Sunday that would unite more than 1 billion people. If successful, it would also create a $3.5 trillion economic bloc and usher in a new era of development. Nigeria has finally signed the agreement. Ghana was announced as the host of the trade zone's future headquarters, and discussions were held on how exactly the bloc would operate. An agreement to form a 55-nation trade bloc was reached in March after 4 years of talks, paving the way for the inception at Sunday's African Union Summit in Niger. Members expressed hope the African Continental Free Trade Area AfCFTA, the largest since the creation of the World Trade Organization in 1994, will help unlock Africa's long-steam-eyed economic potential by boosting intra-regional trade, strengthening supply chains, and spreading expertise. Egyptian President and African Union Chairman Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said the success of the AfCFTA will be the real test to achieve the economic growth that will turn people's dream of welfare and quality of life into a reality. Members have committed to eliminate tariffs on most goods, which will increase trade in the region by up to 25% in the medium term, but the International Monetary Fund (IMF) estimates this will more than double if other issues were resolved. Once fully operational, the UN Economic Commission for Africa says the Free Trade Accord is projected to boost the level of intra-Africa trade by more than 52% by 2022. Economists say significant challenges remain, including poor road and rail links, large areas of unrest, excessive border bureaucracy, and petty corruption that have held back growth and integration. The U.S. has welcomed as an important step forward a provisional agreement forged by Sudan's ruling military council and a coalition of opposition and protest groups to share power for 3 years. The agreement announced on Friday was brokered by the African Union and Ethiopia and is due to be finalized today, Monday. The deal was renewed hopes for a peaceful transition of power in Sudan that has been plagued by internal conflict and years of economic crisis that helped trigger the overthrow of Omar al-Bashir in April. U.S. State Department said in a statement a special envoy for Sudan, Donald Booth, will return to the region soon. Sudan's Transitional Military Council and the Opposition Freedom and Change Alliance reached the agreement via a joint sovereign council with power shifting between military and civilian leadership. William Lawrence, professor of political science and international affairs at George Washington University, held the agreement while expressing concerns over some of the terms and details.
On the one hand, it's fantastic that both the protesters and the military have chosen this diplomatic solution, this power-sharing deal. On the other hand, the terms of the deal are very problematic. Certainly one of the most important aspects is that the United States, the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and the Emirates have come to an agreement supporting this deal, and that certainly weighed in favor both.
The State Department says it looks forward to immediate resumption of access to the Internet, establishment of the new legislature, accountability for violent suppression of peaceful protests, and progress toward free and fair elections. Stay with us, we'll be back after this short break.
Whether in your house, at your office, on your phone or online, we are there. We have the facts behind the headlines. We cut to the chase with the news you really need. We cover every angle. We are the bigger, better news network. We are African News Network. ANN. Watch ANN News on MITV from a truly African spirit.
Pope Francis has called for concerted action to create extensive humanitarian corridors for migrants to prevent similar tragedies in Libya. The Pope prayed on Sunday for victims of the bombing of a migrant center in Libya last week in Tripoli, killing dozens and wounding many more. The Pope said in his weekly message in Rome, the international community cannot put up with such grave acts. The Pontiff also called for prayers for those caught up in recent attacks in Afghanistan, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. That's CNN News Brief. Join us again at 5 for our full newscast. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, nnafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at CNN Africa TV. I am Lucy Adeyemi.